So please welcome Peter Nilsson. Welcome.
Hey. Tack.
Nice to see you. So I think we do it in English.
Sure.
I was a bit curious. I heard some news that you were opening a small store in the middle of Stockholm.
Yes, actually today we announced the opening of a new format, if you like, of an Ikea store at Regeringsgatan, close to the city center of Stockholm. And this is, of course, one way of exploring new ways of meeting customers and consumers.
So how does it follow is that the first step of a part of a bigger strategy to have several small stores where you can actually transact a lot online and order online in the stores and have it delivered back home?
Yes, it is. It is a part about getting closer to the customers and consumers. And to do that, we need to find smaller formats. We need to find formats closer to where the infrastructure sit and where people are. We took a first step last year when we established a new format up in Danderyd. And now this summer we will open in Regeringsgatan.
Yes, it would be very interesting to listen to your speech.
Yeah, thank you. So, welcome to Ikea, and most importantly, I think this is Ikea, not so much me, but it is the furniture that it hopefully represents. So, I am not an e-commerce person, so I will not talk about e-commerce. All of those who are only interested in e-commerce, you can go and enjoy the nice coffee outside there. I will talk about customers, because that's what we believe in. So we try to come from that angle. My name is Peter Nilsson. I am responsible for what we call the total customer experience in all touchpoints for Ikea in Sweden. Most of you know about Ikea. I have that advantage to some other speakers, but I will anyway take you through the memory lane. And I will do that for the reason that actually, Ikea was once set out as a mail order company. So when it all started in 1943, the idea was to sell quite cheap stuff. It was about selling pencils and postcards and these things that Ingvar Kamprad could find close to where he lived. And if you take a modern approach on that, you could say that his e-commerce platform was mail order and printed brochures. His CRM system was probably mainly his brains, because he knew everyone. And more importantly, maybe his fulfillment unit, that was the milkman who was driving around delivering his parcels. So our possible claim to fame is that we were actually the first online retailers even before e-commerce was invented. Another important part of where we come from, I think, is also a little bit connected to one of the pieces of furniture that you see here. The story goes that after World War II, there were lots of furniture manufacturers close to Älmtaryd, Agunnaryd in Småland, where it all started. So, of course, being the entrepreneur Ingvar was, he started to purchase these ones in bigger volumes and sell to customers. But one of the problems was that when they were shipping these furniture, quite a lot of them were broken. They were damaged because the legs were, of course, difficult to put in a parcel that you sent. It was also very bulky and not that easy to handle. So the idea was that, well, let's take the legs off the table. And that was the piece of puzzle that then created the concept of knockdown furniture and paved way to, in 1958, open the first Ikea store. And as you might know, the rest is history. So that's a little bit where we come from and the take that we try to have on how do we approach the society today. Because, of course, we all know this, and you can talk about whatever mega trends and how do we all relate to that. But But what we have said is that we know that the population in the world is growing. We know that there is a big inflow of people moving into big cities. We have the speed of change, which we heard this morning as well. We have an expanding middle class around the world, especially in India and China and so on. And so we have lots of these trends. But what is important is how do we respond to these ones? And believe it or not, we actually have quite a lot of faith in the future, even though we are the good old classic brick and mortar retailer, because we think that we have a range that fits really well to these trends. We are good at working with small spaces, which is the end result of people moving into big cities. The speed of change is increasing. Yeah, that means that you renew, that you have new needs, and then we have new solutions to meet those needs. And so this is how we try to approach this, that there are big changes in the society, and all of those changes, they give us an opportunity to respond to those ones. And we feel humble, but still quite excited about this unknown future, because it is unknown. We just know that it happens really, really quick. This is how the consumers move today. We all know that, but at least for a traditional pure player retailer, it is a little bit difficult to change your mindset. We have to accept that we will never fully know where the customer are at certain moments of time. Yes, we will when our friends from Google have introduced their super system that knows when we are and even before we are there, which is really interesting. But in the meantime, we try to relate to this reality. And that is about, instead of letting maybe different technical solutions guide us, we try to map this from what does the customer actually tells us in this behavior, and stop pretending that we can, of course, influence this. Because one of the things in this is that the customer are in charge. They will decide how they interact with us and with you guys. And they will do differently from the first time to the second time to the third time. So this is the super exciting challenge that we spend a lot of time on, in how do we get all these connections and interactions together in one experience. And it's not about making this experience perfect today, because we are not perfect, but it's about making that experience a little bit better today and a little bit better tomorrow, and so on and so on. And that is really how we try to approach this. The exciting thing with, as you can see here to the left, a business idea that is approximately 50 years old, as it is formulated here. That is, of course, how do we make that relevant? Because the challenge with this is not that it is not a good business idea, because it still kind of hits home quite well. However, we have today, at least, some kind of equation that we talk about. How do we create customer value? And then we have been able to work with three components here. It is about providing the cost, it is about providing the choice, and it is about providing the convenience. And then we combine that. Yeah, cost, it needs to be affordable. That has been and still is a parameter. It also needs to be a wide variety of choices, and I think friends from Amazon and so on are quite good at showing that this is an important component still. We have 10,000 home furnishing articles, so I think we have a decent choice to offer. And it's about convenience. It is about that I can choose if I want to add something. I can buy a service, I can buy a planning component, or I can buy some consultancy of other things. So this together is how you look at least we look at, in creating the customer value. The challenge, of course, which we all sit with, is that we now are facing a reality where It's about the evolved cost. It's about the evolved choice, and it's about the evolved convenience aspect. Because I can always find something that is a little bit cheaper, right? Because I can order it from China directly or somewhere. I can always find another choice because the opportunities are endless. I can always find something super convenient because it fits exactly my need. But then to add to the equation, you also have the assumption that I, as a consumer, I'm in control. I do not want to give away the control. I want to have a very clear feeling of I am in control. And to top that, it is about the total experience. There are certain things that you will not compromise, even if you have the lowest price and the best choice. You want to be experiencing something that hits home with you. And for some of us, that experience is connected to, is the company socially, does it have a social responsibility? And for others, it's about maybe being in the front and being one of the cool companies. The challenge, the exciting challenge, is that it's the sum of everything that is the customer value. And this is where we try to elaborate in how can we be better at the different components and not just be good at one of them, because that as the totality will not be good enough. So in this, and this is why I started a little bit also by saying it's not about online, and it's also not about the brick and mortar or cash and carry or offline. It is just retail. And I think this is a super important part, at least for us, who is then some kind of multi-channel, omni-channel retailers. We need to move away from that. There is no such thing as multi-channel. There is just retail, full stop. And to throw in an extra challenge to that, I would also say that we have the dimension of that retail, at least, we will always, from now on, be in some kind of beta mode. We will never be ready, because the speed of change is so fast. So we need to constantly be in a beta mode here. So we come from Älmhult. We have built a few stores. But we have also, for the last couple of years, worked quite aggressively, actually, with building up a competence connected to how we are perceived online. So we have some fantastic people that is working on the Ikea.se organization, and you can meet some of them up here, where you can have some nice coffee and hang out with them. We have decided that we will be in all channels, in all touch points, because we will follow the customer. We are probably not the first, but we are very curious, and we really try to stay close to responding to customer needs here. One very important part is that we are not interested in e-commerce. We are interested in a total customer experience. And that is the same for those of us who works in the digital part. It is not about having the best web page or mobile web page or app or whatever. It is about being part of the total customer experience for IKEA. And this is more to put it in a context that IKEA has actually decided that within a few years we will be the world's leading multi-channel retailer, and that's it's of course very cool to say that. But I think what is more important is that we will be through the customer experience. We will build on customer experience, not about home furnishing competence or the possibility to invest in whatever. It's about building on the experience, and then that will take effect in different channels, including online, but as well as new stores and new formats, as we mentioned. So just to take a small snapshot, this is where we are right now, today, at 1:15. We have approximately 5,000 people visiting our stores. We have approximately 180 people calling us right now. There is approximately 1,947 people interacting with us in our own social media channels, and it is a few people short of 10,000 people on Ikea.se and the mobile page. And there is a few people, not so many, interacting with us on the app. But the important thing is not that we have X number of people interacting with us online. The important thing is this, because this is the total customer experience. It is the sum of all those journeys that becomes either a really good experience or a not so good experience. And of course, throughout the days, weeks, and months of the year, we have the opportunity and we can see how the different touch points serve different purposes when it comes to buying summer furniture or Christmas presents. But today we have approximately 132 million visits to IKEA in Sweden every year. And this is how we look at it. We don't look at it, how many do we have visiting a store, how many do we have visiting us online. We have 132 possible interactions to do something with. And like I said in the beginning, if we can do a little bit better tomorrow than today, then we have done a really good job. So, the reason why we are here and the reason why I'm talking to all of you super clever guys as well is that we are of course interested to learn. We know that we are not the best, but we also know that we can learn a lot of things from other people. So if you think that you have something really, really good to contribute with, come and join us. Show us what you know. But please bear in mind that we're not a tech company. We are about people. We listen to people, we work with people, and then we can throw in a few cool technical solutions to help the needs of the customer. But it all starts with that. It does not start with a cool technical solution. It is about the people, it is about the values that you saw in this film before, and that is how we try to steer our business and navigate to be successful for another 50, 60, 70 years. So finally, with the 2-minute mark, which was the reference point about being a good presenter, and I don't know if it was 30% uplift. We have 3 simple guiding principles. The first one, the job that needs to be done, it's a mindset, it is not a task. It is about meeting expectations, and that can never be done by solving a task. The second thing that we think is really important, and that is that if it is impossible, do it anyway. Maybe it will take you a little bit longer to do it, but we need to get there. And we do that by applying a lot of entrepreneurship and common sense. And the third thing is, of course, connected to the society that we are in today. And that is, whatever you think bigger. Because by the time it is out there, it is already too late. So think bigger in everything you do. So with that, I will finish with a slide of the piece of furniture, Lövet, a coffee table that started the whole journey with flat pack furniture with the legs taken off. Thank you very much.
I just have a couple of questions to you. Are you completely indifferent to if customers buy online or in the stores?
Yes.
Because I think you are in a very interesting product category with furniture and interior design. I mean, now growing by 26% per year online, and you have like 5% of the market is transacted online. Mm-hmm. So where, in comparison, where are you?
How do you mean? Where we are?
In development, how quickly are you growing online, and what proportion of sales is online? Is that something you can share with us?
Yeah, we have like I shared, we have a growing part of the business that is going through the online channel. We're getting close to 10% of Ikea's turnover that is coming through the online channel itself. But like I also said, it is not actually important where the order is closed. We know that 2/3 of a customer that visits a store, they are prepared online, most of them in the mobile phone. We know that more than 1/3 of those who are in a physical store use Ikea.se as a way of shopping. So all those borders are gone. It's irrelevant.
Very good. And I understand you're also now offering click and collect, at least in Stockholm.
Yes, we, like I said, we're maybe not first, but we are introducing things when we can see that there is a big enough need for our segment. And the new formats that we talked about in Regeringsgatan is one example, and the introduction of click and collect, ordering online and picking up in stores or in other hubs is now something that we're rolling out as well.
I appreciated the other year your ad where you can bit with yourself about the product catalog, which you're still producing.
Yes.
For how long will you print the catalog?
Well, we will print it this year as well. It's out in August, so I know you're all super excited about receiving the catalog. It will be there this August as well.
Okay.
But of course, it plays another type of role today than it did a few years ago.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well done.